Okay. Now, um, these are some additional thoughts on the sermon that I gave on Saturday, August the 20th. I was talking about how I was going back into a difficult place, a difficult experience that I had with my father, where I was swimming I was like, I don't know, I was like 6 or 7 or something, and I was swimming in our backyard pool, which was just really a concrete box, and I dog paddled across the short end, and my father said, "Wow, that's okay, but can you go the long end?" And I was like kind of crushed because I wanted Dad just to be happy. That, hey, Dad, look at this, wow. And so I felt kind of crushed by that. And there was a number of experiences where my father always said, well, can you do something more? And I felt crushed in the moment. And here's what happens, because we've all had those moments when we don't receive the absolute love that we crave from our parents. Our parents didn't receive it themselves, so they didn't know how to give it to us. And they misunderstood us, or they said something and we felt hurt. But now, see, according to the principle, originally it was supposed to be God, Adam, and Eve, so that Adam can hear God's voice, Eve can hear God's voice. They can all communicate directly, and they can make wonderful harmony with each other. Well, as a result of the fall, we don't have God in that position. We have you, me, and Satan. And what happens is, in those situations, like in that situation, what happened was Satan came and told me, you will never make him happy. You can't please your father. Whatever whatever you do, he's going to ask you to do something more, something that's going to be harder, something that you don't think you can do. It's going to be impossible. You're never going to make him happy, so give up. Don't try. Life is not fair. So Satan was telling me all those things, and I was believing them, okay? And this is what led me to try to separate from my parents, to stop talking to them, absolutely stop talking to them. I didn't want to talk to them because communication was too painful. Didn't want to talk, didn't want to have anything to do with them. And that led to me either wanting to kill my father or kill myself. And all of that was because, see, here's how Satan operates. Talks to you, and he lies to us, and he's been lying to us, and we hear him inside of ourselves, and I believed that that was my thought. I believed that that was me thinking that, but it wasn't. And when I heard the principle, I was so liberated by understanding that is not me thinking that. I'm not some twisted being that thinks that stuff. No, it's because of Satan. He's the one telling those lies, and he gets to tell them right inside of me. Because of the fall, he stands in God's position instead of God. So what did our Father do? What did Father do? True Father investigated and discovered Satan's crime. And not just discovered it, he uncovered it. He exposed it. Because here's the thing. When we take these lies that Satan whispers to us and we bring them out into the light of day, we see them for what they are. They're lies. And they're very well designed to keep us, in my case, okay, you will never please your father. So this makes me mad at anybody who's in a fatherly position to me. Any male who's in a position of authority, I'm going to get that. We're going to make him happy. Don't even try. No. And this would make me feel contentious and angry and separated towards any male person who's an authority figure. So this is how Satan has been controlling. See, he doesn't want us to make connections between each other. And I had to unlearn that, Now, I work with a therapist who's quite spiritual, And one of the techniques that she uses is to say, okay, let's go back to that time when you were so badly hurt, when you were traumatized. So imagine you're you back then. Now, you get to ask for whatever wise, loving, God representing person you want in the position of your parent. And so when you do that, I just say, well, yeah, I want true father there. I want true father there. I said, okay. And so you go through it. So you go through that thing. So I go, hey, watch this. And I swim across. And so true father, in this exercise for me, true father, that's great. Yeah. Okay, now, hey, try swing this way. See if you can do it. I was like, oh, yeah. Now, here's one thing. See, Satan used my difficulty with my father. He planted lies. He kept telling lies to me, like, you will never make them happy. Stay away. Don't have anything to do with them. This will only mess you up. Don't even go there. Don't even try it. You will never be happy. Look at the adults. They're not happy. You will never be happy if you're an adult, so don't grow up. Don't grow up. You should never grow up. See, Satan hit me with all this stuff, and it was designed to keep me isolated, to keep me separated. When in reality, what was happening was that God was preparing me through my father to learn how to deal with difficulties and find that there was always more in you that you could, when you hit a difficulty, there was always more in you that you could count on to be there. And that training has helped me not just meet true parents, but recognize them and follow them and stay when it became difficult and stay when it looked absolutely impossible. Okay. Now, this is how Satan has been controlling us. And True Father exposed Satan's line. We can study it through the divine principle. But it's our response, like, I'm the only person that can remove Satan from that experience that I had. I'm the only one that can do that. If I don't actively go there and invite heavenly parents to be there, invite true parents to be there with me, then that's never going to get changed. And see, you remember, like in the book of Genesis, after God expelled Adam and Eve from the garden, he placed a cherubim with a flaming sword at the entrance to say, you can't come in here. You can't come in. Well, I think that Satan has a lot of gatekeepers like that, because he has gatekeepers that go, don't go there. Don't go there. And see, all my life, I have this gatekeeper internally. Whenever I have difficulty with someone that I really kind of need to get along with, or I need their love, I need to be loved like my spouse, then whenever there's some difficulty, I get hit with this one. You will never make them happy. You will never be able to make them happy. I go, because that lie is designed to keep me from connecting with them. It's designed to stop me from joining heavenly parents, heavenly community, heavenly family, because it's designed to stop me from believing that the other person can be good for me, that I can experience God with them. So, and this happens to all of us. I did an exercise once in a Sunday service where I asked people, I said, okay, just close your eyes and raise your hand if you have ever had this thought or feeling. One was, you're a fake, you're a fraud, and someday they're going to find out just how fake you are. Everybody else is real and you're just faking it. And someday they're going to find out how fake you are. And this is designed, anyway, this one's designed to destroy our confidence. And a number of hands went up. And I said, okay, raise your hand if you have ever had this thought or feeling. Nobody understands just how you feel. And a lot of hands went up. I mean, most people had their hand up. And I said, okay, now keep your hands up, open your eyes, and look around you. And see how many people have had that thought. So almost all of us have had that thought. Nobody knows just how you feel. But let's examine that, okay? So you're being told that nobody understands you. But look around you. Just about everybody in this room has had that feeling. So do you think they know how you feel? They know exactly how you feel because they've experienced it too. But Satan wants us to believe that nobody does. And what's the point of that? The point of that is that if we believe that, we will never share with anybody and we will all be isolated. See, God's kingdom is where we can look at each other and we can understand, I know exactly how you feel. Yeah, I see how you feel and I know how. I've had the same thing. A lot of people have. We share heart, we share feelings with each other. But Satan wants us locked in, believing that nobody else feels the way that you do. Satan wants us all isolated and afraid and scared. So Satan can dominate us that way. So I remember when I was in MFT, I mean, I joined the church. I was very spiritual. I knew God wanted me here. And I knew that this was where I was supposed to be. I loved God more than I loved people. And I loved the spiritual world more than I loved the physical world. And I was on MFT. And I was having a hard time. Anyway, I was in a workshop, 21-day workshop in Boulder, Colorado. And we were having dinner. And I was feeling like isolated and tired and lonely and tons of stuff. And I was just sitting there just trying to eat and just feeling like, wow, I really wish I could share with somebody just how I'm feeling. And then I heard, they won't understand you. Don't share. They will not understand you. They won't. And I looked up and I looked around me at all the people in that room and I thought, wait a doggone minute. Well, hold on here. These people have been doing the same thing as me. They've been suffering day after day. They've been knocking themselves out trying to do this, and they're still here trying to do it. And they're here trying to drink in all of this. Like, what are you talking about? They're not going to understand it. That doesn't make any sense. But because they won't understand you, it was so deep. I'd been hearing that for so many years. I thought it was me thinking that. And here's one of the liberating things about divine principle is that it teaches us that that's not really your thought. That is Satan lying to you. But because it's been inside you for so long, because inside me for so long, I absolutely believe it. Oh, I just think, what do I have with these thoughts? I don't know how many people I've had conversation with, like, I don't know, I have really prejudiced. I'm not prejudiced. I want to love everybody, but I have really prejudiced thoughts sometimes. Hey, it's not you, and you don't have to pay attention to it. So anyway, see, Father exposed these lies on a worldwide level. Our responsibility, my responsibility, was to go into those that are affecting me and bring them out to the light of day and invite God and true parents, and invite God to be there and true parents to be there. And by the way, my experience with, inviting Father to be there at that very difficult moment for me. And I've had the similar experiences with Mother. We call them true parents, we call them all kinds of things, but to me it was like Dad of all dads, Mother of all mothers, Mom of all moms. Because I felt loved so much by them. I mean, mother is different from father. Father's like stormy and raging and really deep and just makes you scream with laughter and then collapse in tears and all of those things. And mother embraces like every part of. I've had experiences where I just felt mother embracing every single part of me and just lifting me up. So, we have these things happening because this thing for me of like, you will never make them happy. This one, Satan trucks this one out every time I'm having difficulty. Every time I'm having difficulty with a difficult boss, every time I'm having difficulty with my spouse, it just comes, you'll never make them happy. And the purpose of that is to make me give up and not stop trying. So I'm not really participating in the heavenly opportunities and the opportunity to build heavenly relationships. So this is the point. This is really the principal point that I couldn't quite hit in my sermon, is that this is the work that we can do. I mean, when I said go there, it means you go in there inviting God and inviting true parents to be there with you. And you bring out what happened and how much it hurt, and you let true parents embrace you. Because in the moment for me, when I opened myself up and let go the pain that I had felt of like, I wanted to make my father happy and I couldn't. I wanted to make my father happy and I couldn't. And I was so crushed by that. And that just almost destroyed my life. That feeling almost destroyed my life. Like, you'll never make him happy. Satan's like riding me, saying you'll never make him happy, trying to get me to separate from anything that's ever going to make me successful. So that's our work. That's our work, is to challenge those things. And, one thing I learned was that, and it was just like, we call it having a reality check. Or just like, when I'm upset, I think you're mad at me because of this and this and this, and I think I'll never make you happy because of that and that. And then maybe they're thinking, he's doing this because he doesn't like me, or he just doesn't like what I'm doing, or he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Like Satan tries to interpret things for us in a way that's going to guarantee we split up and separate and never talk to each other. Okay? Just do a reality check. Hey, are you mad at me? Did you say that because you were trying to do this and this and that and that? Like, when you said this is what I thought you meant. It's like, no, that's not what I meant at all. But see, it takes the courage to actively ask if this is what's really going on. Okay? So in those really difficult moments is to go and ask God, is this really what's happening? Is this really what's true? How do I get out of this? Or you go to your spouse and say, hey, I'm feeling like, when you said this or you said that, I thought you were really mad at me, and I thought you were telling me that you didn't like me and you were attacking me. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No, I meant this. Oh, okay. So what I'm saying, don't go there, is that Satan has these little layered off places, like North Korea, which is the most isolated, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there place in the world. And what his purpose is, he's saying, like, don't unite, don't connect, don't ask God, because Satan wants to interrupt the amazing experience that we can have when we share heart and feelings with each other. And Satan has been lying to us actively. And he's so good at it because he does it right inside of us. And we think, I have that I'm thinking. We go, I'm thinking, I believe that I'll never make you happy. And the reality is that Satan has been telling you that. So how do we expel Satan? For me, I'm not going to say that it's complete because it's been there for all of my life. But the point was that I could go back to that point where Satan could really install that message in me. And instead of having the isolation and the pain and the separation and the misery and the agony and the depression, everything else that went with that, in that moment, I could have true Father there, loving me, embracing me, and going, oh, that's great. Try something else. So that is something that only I can do. Father's doing that on a worldwide level. But if I do that, I'm not just liberating myself. I'm liberating my wife, our blessing, our family. My children are benefiting from that as well. And see, my children went through this as well because there was a lot of difficulty in our family. And sometimes I was not able to be there. I didn't know how to be there because I had that, you'll never make them happy, you'll never make them happy, you'll never satisfy them. I had that going on in my head, and also the run thing. So sometimes there were times when I was not able to really be there with my children. And what Satan installed in them was, he doesn't care. He's not there for you. He won't be there for you. If you need him, he will not be there. So you have to do everything by yourself. You can't trust him. Don't trust him. He doesn't care. So my experience was, I don't know how to be with you. And their experience was, he doesn't care. So Satan's actively trying to isolate us and separate us in that way. But when we're able to talk about it, when we're able to bring it out into the open, we're able to see more like what's really going on, those things lose their power because Satan's lies lose their power when we bring them out into the light of day and we see how they don't really make sense. But when Satan's power over the centuries has been this, he's operated in the dark. We don't know what he's doing, we don't know who he is, and he's whispering in our ear, and we're believing it because it's all hidden. And when it's hidden, you don't know for thousands of years. We have not known what's going on inside of us. It goes on, and it controls us, and it knocks us over and flattens us and wrecks our lives. But it's all hidden. And Father uncovered it, discovered it, uncovered it, and then brought it out into the light of day publicly. This is what Satan did. This is what Satan is doing. And so you study the divine principle, you can learn that, and you can start applying it in your life. And if you can apply it in your life, you can help other people to apply it in their lives. And the influence that that has is that we can really, literally, we can change our society. We can change many, many things in this world once we liberate that. So there's more I could say, but I'm going to stop here because I've literally, really, these inspirations of the divine principle and the true parents, they're always coming. There's always more. But I need to break it up into bite-sized pieces for y'all, because if I talk for 2 hours, you might get a little lost, and I wouldn't blame you. So, and this is also something that Reverend Young's been talking about. You know, this is something that Reverend Young's been talking about. We have to exemplify. We have to exemplify. We can't just talk about it. We don't need just words. Because see, the problem with the fallen world is this, and I talked about this a little in my sermon, is that in the fallen world, you say one thing, but what's really going on is something different. There's an undercurrent. There's something that's not being said. And that thing that's not being said has tremendous power. So what we need to do is uncover it in connection with people who know the divine principle and are connected with true parents, in connection with somebody who's more connected than you are, who's closer than you are, and in direct communication with heavenly parents. And the blessing is the biggest foundation that helps you to do that. Okay? So, have courage. And there's more where this came from. So I'm gonna be posting more, but this is a beginning. Okay, thank you. And thanks to Heavenly Parents, and thanks to our true parents. Mom of all moms, dad of all dads. Thank you so much.